behalf of the 185 members of the class of 2022. If I ask everyone to please remain standing, I'm going to invite the Vice President of the class of 2022, Marissa Ganitskevich, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I would like to call to the microphone to sing the Star-Spangled Banner, Senior Mitchell Orell, who will be language students who will be signing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mitchell. Everyone, you may be seated. Thank you. Just one small example of the talent on stage tonight. All right, just before we move to the center of our program, I would like to do some greetings representing different parts of our community. First of all, representing the town of Torrington and the town of Burlington, both First Selectmen are here. Mr. Michael Chris, First Selectman of Torrington, and Mr. Thompson, First Selectman of Burlington. Welcome. From Central, and joining us from the Board of Education tonight, we have our chairperson, Mr. John Makito, the Secretary of the Board of Ed, Mr. Dean Cowger, Mr. Thomas Fossil, and Mr. Scott Sabell. Thank you very much for coming. All right, and one very important group. I know we already welcomed them, but one more time, the members of the faculty of Lewis Mills High School. All right, our first speaker this evening is the president of the class of 2022, Mr. Adam Amarato.
Welcome everyone, and thank you all for coming out tonight. We all greatly appreciate your dedication to our success and help along the way. Speaking directly to the class of 2022 now, we have finally made it. We are here, in the Warner Theater, ready to graduate after 4 long and crazy years. Even with numerous disease-filled obstacles being thrown our way, we now get to walk across this stage and out those doors as adults, free from the restraint of high school and ready to start on the newly picked path in front of us. So as writing this speech, I came across a multitude of things I wanted to include. I swear I've been saving quotes in the Notes app on my phone since before freshman year, and trying to decide which ones to incorporate was not an easy task. For anyone who doesn't already know, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I wanted this speech to resonate with all of us. The quote at the beginning of my list states, "It's not the years in your life that count, but the life in your years." While many famous lines can be interpreted differently, I take this to mean that your age is not the most important factor in your life, but instead it's your driving passion that pull ahead. While many of us are just reaching adulthood, we have the power within ourselves to achieve just about whatever we desire. Another quote that has been saved on my phone for years now reads, "To whom much has been given, much will be required." Without sounding like the little green Yoda, or wasting too much time analyzing this quote at its deepest levels, sorry Mrs. Mandel, there's just not enough time. I would like to emphasize the importance of the message within. We've all been blessed with the opportunity to attend school with friends and classmates, learning about a variety of topics from STEM to humanities. Now it's time that we take these privileges and go out into the world and do something good. Whether it be a quick smile or holding the door as you leave today, we all have something we can do for others. While both of those quotes might have an important meaning, the quote that has always stuck with me was a quote from Charles Darwin that states, "Man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth." Friendships, even all sorts of relationships, are one of the most important things you'll ever have in your life. Whether it be familial, romantic, or just the bestest of friends, your relationships can be some of the most significant things you have towards your name. That is the message I really wanted to send today. After the last 4 years and through the completion of a remarkable student career, we have formed many relationships of all different kinds. Some of these might dissolve over time, while others might be an unbreakable bond. Regardless of what happens in each individual case, I want you to learn from your experiences and the people you have met to evolve yourself into the absolute best version of yourself. Having gone to school with all of you for 4 years, even some of you closer to 13 years, I know what you are capable of. I know that each of you have the potential to fulfill, and the best way to get there is to utilize the network of support around you. The relationships you made during the massive and inclusive games of kickball in the senior courtyard, or during a class trip to Boston this fall, can be called upon as we venture out into the life we know as adulting. Each and every time Noah kicked the ball into the roof, I know a few of us learned the value of self-control. The family you know and love at home will always be there to support you, which I can almost promise you is each one of you has a family member somewhere who has posted at one time or another all about your life. When I started reading the class of 2022 life updates that were posted all over Facebook, I truly felt myself morphing into the adult I knew we will all become. Even the teachers you have worked with over the last 720 days of school are a resource for you. These types of relationships barely scratch the surface of people you can learn from and find support in. While there is a chance we might not use some of the topics we learned in class, the lessons you can learn from the people around you are something worth remembering. Your relationships are extremely valuable, and it's important to recognize that. Recognize the people around you, look left and right, and know they'll be there to support you. As a class, we need to ensure we continuously support each other to meet the expectations set for us. I'm happy to say we were successful. Even in an environment that was so easy to give up in, all of you here pushed on and truly encompassed what it means to be a member of the class of 2022. We did not allow ourselves to be beat down by masks or one-way hallways, but instead persisted and persevered with the fight to find our own way to make up for the lost time and memories. Each one of us did what we needed to do to make sure our hard work paid off so we could confidently and proudly walk across the stage today. Before I wrap it up, which my 4 minutes ended about 20 seconds ago, I'd like to give a special thank you to Miss Edwards, who has been our class advisor all 4 years. She has stuck with us through everything and put up with each of our bizarre and out-of-the-box ideas. We would not be where we are today with over $16,000 to our name without her support. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Beggar, Marissa Ganichkovich, Matt Gorski, and Noah Doobie, who helped lead our class to a successful senior year, and Mr. Ramasadi for their continuous support. I'm truly honored to have been your president these past 3 years. Now each of you will find something to excel in. Graduation isn't just the end of a tough journey, it's the beginning of an amazing future. You are all made for greatness, and using the relationships and the support you have will only help you to accomplish your dream and flourish into the incredible people I trust you will become. Good luck, class of 2022. It's our time to shine.
Our next student message comes from the winner of our annual speech contest we have every year. We had a lot of entrants this year, and this one really stood above. Bella Andrews, also a member of the class of 2022.
Hello everyone, my name is Bella Andrews, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to address you all and my fellow graduates here today. Being here at the Warner Theater brings back a lot of memories for me. As a competitive dancer, I have spent many competition weekends performing on this very stage, but one performance in particular truly stands out to me. 8 years ago, I was dancing my heart out up here in a red and zebra print costume when all of a sudden, I completely froze. The choreography escaped me, I panicked, and ran off the stage in tears. As I stood in fear, a million thoughts rushed through my head. I had been dancing since I was 3 and had always felt so much joy and confidence each time I competed. I had never experienced this uncertainty before, and I didn't know how to move through it. I didn't know what to do next. I was disappointed in myself for feeling so lost, and the pressure of those watching consumed me. As we have gone through our senior year and have had to make decisions about this next phase in our lives, I think a lot of us have related to that little girl who ran off stage. That feeling of not knowing what to do next or stressing about what others are going to think of us can be really overwhelming. In that moment, I turned to my family, friends, and teachers for support. I found myself doing the same this year as I tried to make so many big life decisions, and I know many of my classmates have done the same. Although at times it has felt like everyone expects us to have everything figured out. But as many people in my life have told me, I'm here to tell all of you that you do not have to have it all figured out. This is a time in our life for exploration and growth, and an opportunity for us to find new people and try new things. While in the moment I was frustrated about not knowing the next step in my routine, I became a stronger and more resilient person because of it. As a class, we have definitely faced our share of adversity. Due to the pandemic, we lost valuable time. Time to spend with one another, time to figure out what we wanted for our futures, and time to pursue many of the things that bring us happiness. Whether that be Madison and Alexa tearing it up on the soccer field, Justin Cassio winning another race, or even the boys' basketball games at the Burlington Town Hall, more commonly known amongst our class as late night runs at THB. I feel so fortunate to have been able to grow up alongside the amazing individuals here on this stage. Not many people get to say that they've been going to school with some of the same kids since they were 3, and I think that's pretty cool. It is because of this history that our class has become such a tight-knit family. These people are my brothers and sisters, and like any siblings, we definitely have our moments. Just ask Mr. Rao. But as a family, we also have a lifetime of memories together. Like in the 1st grade, when I was partnered up with Bryce for a project, and all he could talk about was going to recess. Or the countless hours I spent with Madeline on the playground swings. I will never forget the times I spent at the Maison's house with so many of my classmates making treats and doing crafts. Before I knew it, my 18th birthday came along, where I stood in the Cumberland Farms with Tim, who paid for my first lottery tickets because I didn't know you had to pay with cash. And lastly, I will definitely miss the best senior courtyard kickball games where the ball inevitably ends up on the roof or in somebody's lunch. These are just a few of my favorite memories, but I know each and every one of you have your own that have made our years together unforgettable. I will never find the right words to express my gratitude for this class, and I want to thank you all for making saying goodbye so hard. Now, some of you may be wondering what that little girl who ran off this very stage did next. Well, I wiped my tears and asked to dance again. But this time, it wasn't for a score or a trophy, it was just for me. For me to prove to myself that I was capable of falling down and getting back up again, and to teach myself to not let a little fear hold me back. In fact, just the day after I wrote this speech, I was tested to see if I would take my own advice. I opened my email to find that I had been accepted off the waitlist at my dream school. Now, I'll be honest, my initial reaction was one of excitement and a lot of fear. 3,000 miles is a far away from home, and I was very tempted to make the decision that felt more comfortable and to stick to the school I'd already committed to. But I had to sit back and think about what I was going to tell all of you, to not let fear hold you back. I'm happy to say I stuck to my word and will be headed to UCLA this fall. I took the leap of faith and chose to not let fear decide my future. I want to encourage all of you to do the same as we step into this next chapter of our lives. I hope you all find things that set your soul on fire and make you want to dance. Thank you, Lewis Mills, for these crazy past 4 years and helping us become the individuals we are today. And to my class, while we may be going our separate ways, there's one thing I know for sure. Once a Spartan, always a Spartan. Congratulations to the class of 2022, and thank you.
All right, thank you, Bella. Nicely done. 2 speeches, 2 mentions of kickball. No pressure, Mr. Makito. All right, next we will have our Board of Education greeting for Mr. John Makito.
Okay, I'll get it out of the way fast. Kickball. Well, isn't it great to be back in the morning? You gotta love it. It's fantastic. This is a great venue. It's great to see us back to some normalcy. And what a beautiful class. What a great group. Well, good evening, everyone. And good evening, class of 2022. What a beautiful day and what a beautiful evening for graduation. First, let's give a thank you to everyone who helped you get on the stage tonight. Parents, you give them a big hug tonight. Teachers, counselors, administrators, paraprofessionals, support services, coaches, advisors, school staff, and everyone else who supported you. It's always a community effort. Graduation is a really special night. It's one of the great rites of passage in our society. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, don't graduate from high school." Graduation opens doors for you. Your class is unique. You are resilient, you are tough, you persevered, you demonstrated strength, patience, and endurance. You have a legacy that will follow you for years to come. You wove your way through 2 years of the most challenging years ever faced in public education. And you more than made it. Each of you excelled in your own way. Don't lose that edge. Put it to good use. You're problem solvers. There are so many examples. Adam Emirata, your class representative to the Board of Education, sent us a PDF just within the last week sharing your class fundraisers of up to over $16,000 for class trip, reducing the cost of prom, class gift, senior t-shirts, and just a bevy of things. You are enterprising. But we also watched you fill buses with food to help people in need. You have depth. You made beautiful art, poetry, and music, and you are athletes, strong competitors. And you wrestled with important issues that impacted Mills, trying to find ways to make LSM even better for all students. You have been leaders. You are critical thinkers. Now, you're on to the next step. Sounds like more problem solving. Don't stop learning. Continue your education. Go on to college, join the military, go to technical school, become an apprentice in the trades, pursue your art, pursue your well-being, and pursue the well-being of others. Chase your dreams. Keep your education on the front burner. Just sitting here tonight and receiving your diploma opens you up to opportunities others have missed. So, what's your next step? How are you going to get there? Most importantly, why are you taking the path that you're taking? Purpose counts. So keep learning. Keep finding solutions. You are a success story. Oh, I almost forgot. I couldn't help myself. I have a homework assignment for you. It's an easy one. Contact someone who helped you make it to this stage tonight. Email, text, use Messenger. How about old school, like a card or a letter? All you have to say is thank you to someone who helped you during your journey in Region 10. These are people you'll want to remember. Appreciation is an easy assignment. Congratulations, class of 2022 from the Region 10 Board of Education, on your turn to graduate. You're a very special group. You are appreciated, and tonight is your celebration. Have a healthy future and good fortune.
A member of the class that is just walking onto the stage right now. And believe it or not, Justin Cassio, I ran the 3,200 meters at the State Open Track Championships. And now, with about 2 minutes to spare, he is going to speak to you as the salutatorian of the class of 2022.
Good evening, everyone. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. That was a quote from Confucius regarding overcoming failures. As much as I like to be optimistic, I can say with confidence that everything did not go perfectly over the past 4 years. I do know that an important part in me standing here today before all of you is my ability to rise above challenges, surmount obstacles along the way, and come back after being defeated. Today, I will be speaking to you about recovering from setbacks. As much as I hate to say this, we will all experience failures in our lives. Some will be small and inconsequential, and we will forget about them almost instantly. But others will be that thorn in our side, continuing to pain us for months on end. But those failures do not define us. The choices we make and what we do after those failures is what will define us and our lives. This past winter during the indoor track season, I lost my Class M state championship race in the 3,200 by 7/100ths of a second. Yep. One of my goals that I've had for this year was to be a Class M state champion. At that point, I had already lost my opportunity to be a Class M state champion in cross country. However, by losing by such a margin that was effectively nothing for a distance race was absolutely devastating. It didn't matter that I had one of the most incredible races of this season, starting out slower than 5 minutes for the first mile and finishing with a 4:40 second mile. It didn't matter that I gave it everything I had to win that race. All I could think about was having the lead going into the last 100 meters and losing that race in the final kick. Now, it's perfectly okay to feel sorry for yourself after a tremendous setback like that, or an unfortunate failure. It's natural to get upset and be disappointed in yourself, or even replay the event numerous times in your head, thinking about what you could have done differently, or what you could have done to make that situation ideal. After losing my state championship race, I needed that time to mentally recover. It's healthy to take that time to reflect and think about what we could have done differently, because that can be what drives us to improve ourselves in the future. After taking the time to mentally recover, however, it becomes important to rise above your failure, to make amends, and to set yourself on the right path again. That process is the defining part about how successful we will become. There will be bumps along the way, but as long as we don't make those bumps an insurmountable mountain, we will still become prosperous. There are several ways in which we can prevail through these bumps, but I have found 3 to be the most effective for me. The first, and arguably the most important, is remaining optimistic. You will never be able to move beyond the setback if you continue to be negative. Half the battle to recovering is just beginning to look towards the future in a productive and positive way. For me, this step was not giving up hope, knowing that I would still have more opportunities, not just to become a state champion, but to continue to improve and advance myself. The second step certainly ties into the first, as it is setting a goal for yourself. Setting that goal will help your mind stop remaining fixed on the past, but it will also help you look towards the future. Having a concrete goal not only regains our desire to succeed again, but it allows us to reflect on all the small little things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis to achieve them. For me, that goal was not a new one after failing to achieve it last February. I just pushed out my goal from being a state champion in indoor track to being a state champion in outdoor track. The final step in recovering from setbacks is using that failure as motivation. Nobody wants to lose, and nobody wants to repeat their past failures. So using it to drive you can cause you to focus on something that you never thought you needed to do to improve. Or you may find the encouragement or that fire to power through and push yourself to new heights. I am able to use my failures to propel myself to new successes. After losing my state championship race, I used that to push myself to run even harder in practice so that a loss like the one in the Class M 3200 does not happen again. My fellow class of 2022 graduates, my message to you is this: it's impossible to never have any setbacks or failures in life, so it's important to remember how to manage and move beyond them. Understand it's natural to be disappointed, but make sure to become optimistic again, set new goals, and use that failure as fuel to make your future the future of your dreams. While it may not be the path that you were anticipating, it does not mean the new direction can't be any less phenomenal. You just have to make it that way. And as Confucius said over 2,000 years ago, it is more remarkable when we rise beyond our failures and have an incredible comeback to make our new future even more outstanding than our last. Thank you, class of 2022, and congratulations.
Thank you, Justin. And I challenge everyone in the audience to go home tomorrow and try to run a 4:41. Good luck. All right, our final student speaker of the evening is the valedictorian of the class of 2022, Noah Doobie.
Hello, everyone. I hope you've all been enjoying the ceremony tonight as much as I have. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Noah Doobie, and I'm nervous, and I'm the class of 2022's valedictorian. Before I start, I'd like to give some credit where credit is due to Lauren Searle for being my chief editor today. Thank you. For the past month, figuring out what to talk about in this speech was my top priority. This ceremony is the end of our senior year, the end of our high school careers, and the end of our time at Region 10. The speeches tonight are conclusions to 12 years of education, friendships, and memories. They are nothing short of a big deal. For the past couple days, I've been reflecting. The speech I'm giving now is actually the second one I've prepared. I decided to scrap the original because I felt the message didn't create the impact I wanted. It talked about the strengths and weaknesses each of us have and how we will all succeed in different ways. And don't get me wrong, that's important. But I feel that most of you already know that. After rereading that speech over and over and over again, I didn't think it was fit for our graduation. So I sat down and I did what I do best, and I thought. And I asked myself this one question. If I had one last message to tell my class, what would it be? So after hours of thinking, with some Breaking Bad breaks in between, I finally came up with something I'd be happy to speak about today. So, without further ado, please let me tell you about why I love making children cry. I suppose you would need some context for that, and in truth, it was a tiny bit of an exaggeration. In case you didn't know, I umpire Little League in my free time, calling balls and strikes. Striking kids out genuinely makes me happy. When a perfect pitch comes right across the plate and the batter stands there with 2 strikes, a smile stretches across my face as I prepare to send this kid back to the bench. I know I sound like a horrible person, but you'll be surprised that I don't hate children. If that's the case, why would I find joy in doing this? It's because I know that as soon as I call strike 3, that kid will go back to the bench and do one of 2 things. He might throw a temper tantrum and blame me, blame the world, and blame everything except for the fact that he didn't swing the bat. Luckily, this doesn't happen that often. Sometimes when we see a child act like this, we forget that there are adults who will act very similarly when they don't get their way. That wasn't even a joke. That was They don't take responsibility for their actions, they make excuses, and they'll blame anyone and anything for their failures. Most of you probably think temper tantrums are just for kids, but trust me, you'll think differently if you ever work at a Dunkin'. My point is, once people like this are taken out of a place of perfection, their immaculate view of themselves begins to crumble. And that is why I like striking these kids out the most. My hope is that maybe next time, they'll act differently when they're accountable for their actions. The second behavior I've noticed when striking out a Little Leaguer is more positive. The kid will walk back to the dugout, accept his mistake, and the coaches will give them advice, and they'll take it with grace. They'll pick up their glove, and they'll get ready to go back into the field, almost as if they were unfazed by their at-bat. I also like striking these kids out, but when I do it, I have great respect for their maturity. It takes a lot for people to admit that they were wrong, and honestly, some of the 11-year-olds can do it better than us. I didn't just talk about traumatizing little kids for nothing. It's all a comparison about how we will choose to act in the future. Class of 2022, graduation means the end of high school, and the start of what is considered the real world. And I know every single person in this building will make so many mistakes after today that it would be impossible to count them all. It's not really about the mistakes, though. It's about what we do to learn and adapt afterwards. Sure, some mistakes are worse than others, but the better we handle them, the better our future outcomes will be. Will you blame others, fail to take responsibility, and ignore your own errors? Will you have accepted what you've done, take restorative action, and move on and learn? Mistakes are just a part of life. Nobody in this world will ever come close to being a perfect human being. We all need to learn that this impossibility doesn't mean we can't work on our imperfections. In the real world, it's not going to be striking out. You may botch an interview, mess up a relationship, or you may even do something you're going to regret for the rest of your life. But none of that is what matters most. Growth is what we must focus on. Sure, you might not be where you are today, tomorrow, in a month, or in a year. But even if you work hard to change, adapt, and improve, your growth will become your success. Class of 2022, parents, faculty, and others, today I want you to take away 2 things. First of all, I don't hate children, and I'm not a bad person. I just like being an umpire, I swear. And secondly, and more importantly, as soon as you walk out of those doors today, some of you may trip, and some of you may fall flat on your face. I'm here to tell you today that that's okay. If you remember to learn from your errors and study your mistakes, you will become the best version of yourself that you can be. The mindset to grow is something everybody should have. Don't be the kid who throws the temper tantrum after the strikeout. Go back to the dugout, learn from that mistake, and prepare yourself, because your next at-bat is coming up. Farewell, class of 2022, and I hope your strikeouts will lead to home runs in your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Certainly an original approach. All right. Both Mr. Theory and I do realize we are all that stands between all of you and everything you came here for tonight, so I promise to keep it brief. But it is my job to present this class to the superintendent, so here we go. As I was preparing for this introduction, I realized this is not the first time that I have addressed all of them together as a class. Way back in 2018, I spoke at your 8th grade moving up ceremony as I was technically principal of both schools at that point. That was a very strange year, but one that created a connection between me and this group that has remained with me throughout all of your time at LSM. I have known most of you for 5 years, not just the usual 4 that a high school principal gets. I have very fond memories of the 8th grade trip to Quebec with many of you seated on this stage. I will never forget Ryan Corliss carrying a giant speaker to the back of the bus and commenting, "Don't worry, Mr. Rao, it'll be fine." As we settled in for the 7-hour bus ride. But as interesting as that ride might have been, little did all of us know what the next 4.5 years would bring. Class of 2022, your journey has been anything but normal, yet you have made the best of it and accomplished some amazing things. Over the past few months, in many cases for the first time in over 2 years, we have returned to a bit of normality and the celebrations of what make LSM such a great place. We were able to enjoy the return of the art show, highlighted by work from Jalen Dickens, Marley Venzel, Andrew Lyman, Natalie Lowe, and Dominic Sadler, just to name a few. The Modern Band concert returned to the auditorium, and Jacob Valentino, Janiyah Gatman, Jason Warner, Aiden Merchant, and Mitchell Orell displayed their talents for the crowd. This spring, we saw our first indoor pep rally since the winter of 2019-2020. I have to thank Matt Gorski and Riley O'Connor for all their dedication to the Student Council. With the many events you organized and the many times you painted the rock, you made sure that all of LSM had spirit this year. Congratulations to the class officers and everything you accomplished. Adam, Marissa, Noah, and Matt, you raised more money than any class, perhaps in the history of LSM, and you spent it all on making sure the entire class of 2022 benefited throughout the year, and especially this spring. In sports, there is a group of students who saw incredible success over the past 4 years. At LSM, we have a tradition of recognizing graduating seniors who have earned 10 or more varsity letters during their career. With only 11 out of 12 possible seasons because of COVID, this was even more difficult for this year's group. I'd like to recognize 5 seniors tonight. Lauren Searle with 10 varsity letters, and Colby Cables, Justin Cassio, Marissa Ganichkovich, and Madeline Poiget with 11 varsity letters each. Truly impressive LSM careers, and I promise your shadow boxes are on the way. All of these examples are just a small part of the impact the class of 2022 has had on LSM. Parents and families, I would also like to take a moment to speak directly to you tonight as well. 5 years ago, I was exactly where you are right now. I watched my son walk across this stage. I was also lucky enough to be able to hand him his diploma and give him a hug, and get ready to enter the next phase of his life. There was an incredible mix of emotions that I'm sure most of you are feeling. Incredible pride at seeing him wrap up his public school career, and also a bit of sadness as the next steps that were sure to bring a change to all of our lives. Well, 2 days ago, I moved my now college graduate son up to a new job and apartment in New York State where he will truly be starting the next phase of his life. The moment left me with 2 distinct messages for you. One, yes, there is a real chance at some point your children will move out. And maybe, just maybe, even be financially independent. Have hope. Number 2, enjoy every moment you have with them. While the pandemic has been more challenging than any of us would like, it also provided a gift of time with family that I would not want to change. I hope all of you celebrate the joy of this momentous night with your children and look forward to the many new and amazing memories you will create in the coming years. Class of 2022, I will miss you and everything that you have brought to LSM. And now, Superintendent Theory, with this class having met all of the needed requirements for graduation, I am proud to present to you the class of 2022.
Okay, so how many of you, as you walked up the steps, told yourself over and over, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip? That's what I just did, so. Good evening. I'd like to begin by offering my deepest thanks to the families and friends of the members of the class of 2022. You have played a vital role in the success of our graduates, and we are grateful for your ongoing support. But most importantly, we're all here for you. And I want to offer my most sincere and well-earned congratulations to the students in the class of 2022. You have not only persisted through historically difficult times, you have grown, thrived, and succeeded because you wouldn't settle for anything less. I'm going to keep my remarks brief because this is my 33rd high school graduation, and I learned a very long time ago that I will never top or even match the brilliance or insight of the student speakers who I'm always doomed to follow. Isabella, Justin, Adam, thank you for proving me correct. I think if I tried to match them, Justin would strike me out and send me to the bench. But I will leave by sharing two pieces of advice. One a bit different than normal, and one you may have heard before a very long time ago. Right now, graduates across the country, and a little bit here tonight actually, at this time of year are told by speakers to go forth and find what they love and pursue it. That is really good advice. The advice I'm sharing tonight is go forth and find something you hate, that you think is wrong, that you disagree with, and change it. My advice on how to change it echoes what you may have been told when you were in kindergarten, when you threw your pencil, or tore your paper, or smashed your Play-Doh, because you were frustrated. When you don't like something and want to change it, use your words. Use them wisely, and use them well. To be successful, use your words to comfort, not hurt. Use them to unite, not divide. Use your words to persuade, not attack. And to share your experience and wisdom, not take away the thoughts and experiences of others. I am sad to see you all go. I truly am. We miss you when you leave. But I am excited to have you move on to the world beyond Lewis Mills. Because if the future were a car, personally, I would gladly hand you the keys. Because I am 100% confident that you will drive the changes that will make our world a better place. I wish all of you all the happiness and success you so very richly deserve. Congratulations, class of 2022.
All right, it is time. So, just a couple of quick, not directions, but how this is going to work. We are about to call 185 names. In just a second, my associate principal, Mrs. Jennifer Oddie, is going to come up and call the names. I'm going to ask Ms. Erin Putnam, our Director of Counseling, she's going to help with the diplomas. Mr. Vecchito, if you could join us on stage as well, to shake everyone's hand, along with the superintendent. All I have is one request for the audience. We have 185 graduates and families that are here to see every single one of them. So when your graduate's name is called, celebrate, cheer, clap, and then please leave the space so that the next group can have that same cheer. We want all 185 to feel celebrated tonight. So, here we go, the graduating class, 2022.
Vincent Camarado. Marissa May Gimitskovich. Matthew Gaetano Gorski. Noah Christian Doobie. Bella Grace Andrews. Emma Grace Andros. Samantha Marie Angelo. Benjamin Richard Archer. Mitchell Gerard Arell. 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 Mitchell Gerard Arell Alberto Armas. Trevor Paul Belarjan. Madeline Taylor Ballerini. Alyssa Marguerite Barnaby. Molly Ann Barney. Elijah Joseph Barron. Ryan Christopher Beggar. Andrew Jeffrey Barrett. Bradley George Bergstrom. Kyle Eugene Bergstrom. Declan James Bernatich. Ryan James Biggs. Jayla Maya Black. Ava Irene Benini. Brianna Marie Brita. Olivia Jean Buckland. Daniel Stephen Birch. Lucas Andrew Bushka. Haley Elizabeth Butler. Alex Christopher Butwell. Alexa Gray Bilikbashi. Colby Darren Cables. Alexa Maria Calabrese. Derek Thomas Calabro. Sebastian Joseph Calafiore. Grace Marie Caraco. Nicholas Anthony Cardello. Aiden Alexandra Carey. Justin Brian Cassio. Connor Radcliffe Charette. Justin Michael Chwanek. Ethan Robert Coates. William Michael Coleman. Owen Andrew Connolly. Ryan Charles Corliss. Jacob Merrick Cormier. Logan Dean Cowper. Madeline Claire Quaget. Alden Lawrence Helming Crook. Amy Lynn Crossman. Christopher Scott Deeb. Logan Christopher Diana. Jalen Avery Dickens. Jacob Eli Dorman. Savannah Elizabeth Dursima. Allie Elizabeth Eichner. Shane Russell Evans. Grace Daly Fiore. Vivian Lynn Fitzgerald. Irene Grace Foley. Daniela Marie Fortuna. Owen Edward Freeman. Emma Rose Gasick. Janaya Brielle Gatling. May Bell Gowitt. Lauren Angela Gorski. Lauren Rena Grant. Lily Green. Addison Hannah Chow Grobar. Cassidy Lynn Broughton. Sophia Marie Gutowski. Madison Dalton Hallett. Seamus McBrien Hannon. Emmett Alimo Hayes. Casey Ian Heddenberg. Caitlin Elizabeth Heckler. Harrison Aaron Heller. Nathan Alexander Hockley. Lord Kenneth Siri Holmes. Lord Kenneth Syrian Holmes. Michaela Sarah Ann Isaacani. Joshua Paul Jones. Ryan Daniel Kozak. Lou Michael Kischusik. Ava Lee Koski. Mia Grace Crone. Paige Elizabeth Labby. Hannah Grace LaBerge. Margaret Grace Yongui Lagana. Mason Stephen Alex Lenglace. Victoria Elizabeth Lanza. Charles Stuart Lincoln. Julia Lajewski. Natalie Marta Lowe. Max Luna. Adele Elizabeth Lurix. Kaya Angelica Utrakovska. Andrew James Lyman. Leah Elena Macheko. Brody Russell Manuel. Brandon Daniel Martin. Ryan Joseph Martin. Daniel Thomas Mescalo. Mary Grace Elizabeth Mascoli. Ryan Allen Mays. Benjamin J. Mazon. Marissa Ruth Medico. Aiden William Merchant. Kristen Anna Mihalsik. Esther Rose Minery. Emily Rose Mislip. Ashley Rose Mitchell. John Dwayne Mora. Jordan Morin. Bridge Randall Marone. Trinity Elizabeth Moulton. Mackenzie Ann Murray. Lauren Elizabeth Neary. Haley Lynn Nightingale. Jessie Jane Nightingale. Luke Andrew Nordstrom. Nicholas Frames O'Connor. Riley Grace O'Connor. Timothy Joseph O'Sullivan III. Austin Ryan Olette. David Josue Owens. Aiden Alejandro Pacheco. Benjamin Austin Parsick. Leo Bree Pinate. Alexander John Penn. Scarlett Suad Perez Sandoval. Alyssa Sierra Piccoli. Mia Helen Pickard. Emma Nicole Placharski. Carson Harper Preniver. Jacob Michael Ruwenko. Vanessa Marie Reynolds. Karis Virginia Rickerman. Rhea Norgren Robbins. James Lloyd Robinson. Brady John Renaulter. Lauren Abigail Ross. Dominic Joseph Sadler. Isabella Grace Sikowski. Jared Antonio Santos. Olivia Marie Sawyer. Lauren Elizabeth Searle. Summer Suzanne Setembri. Alexandra Elizabeth Simons. Nicole Eleanor Sirotnak. Marcella Noel Slazen. Adam Joseph Smith. Alexis Marie Smith. Liam Michael Smith. Matthew James Smith. Camilla Maria Stasiowska. Christos Paniotis Stergos. Saba Paniotis Stergos. Dylan Rose Stewart. Brianna Lee Stifel. Ashley Nicole Thebo. Jamie C. Tew. Andrew Michael Tom. Jacob Stephen Valentino. Alec Riley Verano. Marley Ray Bensel. Jack Henry Wagstaff. Bryce Jacob Waldron. Stephanie Rose Walker. Jason Robert Warner. Kendra Michael Woloworski. Cassidy Marie White. Claudia May Willard. Nathan Remington Wilmarth. Christopher Robert Wallowitz. Riley Jade Yarbrough. Jaden Christopher Yost. Aiden Michael Saharic. Joshua Robert Zola.
One more time, the class of 2022. I'll ask all the graduates to stand and for Adam Amarado, president of the class, to come out to the center of the stage for the ceremonial moving of the tassel. graduates are going to move back out the way they came in, so we will ask all of you to please, you're welcome to stand and clap, but please stay in your seats for a couple of minutes until we can get them outside the auditorium. It is a beautiful night. They will meet all of you out on the road. The street is blocked off, so you may go out for pictures and celebrations. So, without further ado, class of 2022, congratulations.